Hello and welcome back to Space Engineers on the Xbox, on the Series X for this second part of the power tutorial. This one is going to take a look at solar power. So let's kick off with a grid. Let's get some light armor blocks going. Since we're playing in creative, we can easily set up a platform for this particular build. We'll just get it going. And what I wanted to look at was, first of all, just the solar panel itself. And I'm not going to be using the colourable solar panels, just the regular vanilla solar panels for now. So I think that's good enough. So first of all, let's have a look at a solar panel. You'll find them on the recent blocks if you've just booted up, right there. If not, they're under production and medical here, and there they are. Now solar panels are fixed. And if you build 1, 2, 3 like that, you'll see that facing the sun, they start to build charge. Like so. And they will only output to a grid if there's no other source of power running. Otherwise, they'll be at 0%. So if you put batteries on to a grid, unless those batteries are in recharge mode, you won't get any reading of a solar panel at all. Let's take a look at a solar panel. We will let's see, actually we'll put a basic refinery on this particular grid, just as a source of power use. The green light at the top tells me it's on, and I can access the control panel here with X and look at my solar panels and see that each one is outputting 333 watts. So we're good. If we change the time of day using the admin screen, RB and Y on the Xbox controller, and then just push the slider across, you'll see that the solar panel changes briefly until the sun is to the rear of it. As the sun goes down, if you watch the green lights, they are now off, or there's not enough sun. Our basic refinery is off, and our solar panels are not producing any power whatsoever. So what you want to do then is build some way of keeping these solar panels facing the sun for the day, so you can get as much solar energy as possible. How do we do that? Well, let's put it back into daytime. And let's dismantle this. And if you're building in creative, remember you can add a block with right trigger, move a block with left trigger. So what we want to do then is build off a custom turret controller to begin with. And if we move all the way through to high-tech areas, advanced systems, you'll see the top has the programmable block, which is only used on a dedicated server, and the bottom has your remote control and sensors. But we want the top, and we want to press A until we reach our custom turret controller, and then if we tap down on the D-pad until we get the green line, we can rotate around the green vertical, and we'll just drop our custom turret controller in there. And bear in mind we have no power running on this grid at all at the moment, so to get all this to work we're just going to slap down a battery just for now. Make sure the battery's on auto. Yeah. So then we're just going to come up a few blocks. About there will do. And just to make it look nice, if we change by pushing up on the D-pad and rotate this, this, and this, we can get a tower going, especially if we push up on the D-pad again and rotate this into place like this, and finally like so. A nice little tower, or at least the beginning is one. Next thing we want is a rotor. So we want to come all the way over here until we hit advanced systems again. Go to rotors, and we're not going to be transferring any cargo through it, so we don't need to worry about whether it's got conveyor ports. We just want a rotor with the 0 facing us. So you can rotate that until the 0's there. And the top of this rotor, we're going to place a hinge. And we'll make sure the 2 lines on the hinge are at the back. Now we have our rotor, now we have our hinge. We're just going to come to this, press X, go to the rotor. We're just going to name this azimuth. And we're going to change. Actually, is that right? No. Actually, let's just change it to let's be simple, just call it rotation instead, and then elevation. We could call it azimuth, but let's be simple. So you would have azimuth and elevation. So our hinge will control our elevation and rotation of the rotor. We're almost there. Now we want to start to build the basics of a place to put a solar panel. But first of all, we want to make sure we can get a tracking solar panel. So to do that, we're going to just make a sun tracker in general. And to do this, again, advanced systems, and we want a camera. And if you look at the camera picture, you can see where the camera light is. That's the correct orientation for looking at the sun. So we have our camera and everything. What we want now is to set up our custom turret controller. So we need to look at the azimuth rotor. Let's see a moment. What did I name? Yep, that's correct. The elevation rotor. And our assigned camera. I thought I'd call that azimuth rotor rotation, but doesn't matter. Now, without changing any other settings for the time being, we want to come down all the way and activate always aim at sun. And you'll see that our grid is now looking at the sun. So if we change the time of day, it will rotate to track the sun as the sun moves across the sky. Let's do a quick save. Again, repeating the controls on that one. Both bumpers and X will perform a quick save. So now we have our little tracker. We can start to think how we want to add the solar panels to it. Well, if you look at solar panels, this is how they fit. So if we put 2 blocks here, one either side, like so, you'll see that the solar panels fit in a weird way. And if we try and turn them this way, like so. So they can be a bit fiddly to play with. Requiring you to build a little further out than you normally would to support the grid. To try and get them on the centre, but with 3 solar panels like that and a sun tracker, let's move the position of the sun. It's a bit janky, that's because we're working with gravity, so you can change the settings on your rotors, change the torque, the braking torque, and so on. You can also change on the custom turret controller the velocity multipliers on azimuth and elevation. My suggestion is experiment, play around with it. And because the sun moves so slowly, you're not going to worry overly much about janky motion on here. And it will track the sun. As it moves over time. And before we required complex builds and scripts, but since the custom turret controller was added to the game, it's a lot simpler these days to make one of these. And to get it to work. And there you are. That is how you make a solar tracker and bear in mind what I said about this is that if you have a battery on the grid or any other form of power, solar isn't going to be a great option unless you turn off your battery and then you should see that solar panels are outputting a certain amount. And what you can do using an event controller is you can set up a system where the event controller detects the sun and the charge or the power output on the panels and set it so that when that controller is triggered for slot 1, you can have one thing happen, in slot 2 another thing happen. So when it's the daytime, you can have the solar system put the batteries on to recharge, and at night time you can turn it so that just before the sun goes down and you lose power totally on the solar panels, you can bring up the batteries onto discharge and power your base for the night. But we'll look into that on another video because I want these to be shorter little bite-sized bits of information so there's not too much to take in. at once. So you can follow through on this and build your own version of a little solar tracking tower. You know, this is rough and ready. You can make them far larger, more complex, prettier, and do what you want. So that's all I have time for. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for the support, the likes, the subscribes, and so on. Stay safe, take care, have fun, enjoy the game. Loads more to come from me and from Keen, although I've slowed up a bit due to recovering from illness, and also obviously as we head towards the festive season, things get a little bit slow around here as well. But until the next one, I will say bye for now. Take care.